Detroit is the greatest! Straight up light you on fire for a coney dog right now.
Darren McCarty comes back to Neiman in front of him. McCarty draws. McCarty in. McCarty scores! He makes double to go! Darren McCarty!
Stafford takes, throws, end zone, Calvin, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
In the air, left field! The Tigers march to the World Series!
Motor City! Motor City! Motor City! Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
You're so weird.
I'm Vinny Stubbs. Sitting across from me is the king, Jason Jarvi. Jason.
How's it going, Vinny?
Not good, my friend. Not good.
Not to mention, we also got John Macaroon taking pictures.
John Macaroon on the boards, dominating as usual.
Doc, keeping it 100, always for the Motor City Sports Rant.
Doc, you need to be quiet. That is really unacceptable.
He's a fan of that emoji.
That emoji is terrible, and I will not stand for it anymore.
So, Vinny, how's your week been?
Awful. No, it's been terrible.
It's been horrible? That's not surprising to me.
It's, listen, I don't even know how to keep it PG. I really don't. I'm just sick and tired of everything.
Well, I can bleep out stuff.
Can you?
If you want to rant, I'll give you this rant, I'll bleep out whatever you want.
You're going to bleep it out?
Yeah, I'll bleep it out.
I don't. That's not even necessary. I don't even care.
Well, give it. What's on your chest?
Everybody is just on my chest, and I can't take it anymore. Can you bleep it out?
I will bleep that out because I want people to feel the emotion.
I can't do anything right in life. This is just so bad. Everything's so terrible. I can't get my life together. I got a raise at work, and they're...
Well, that's good.
Yeah, the owner takes me to the side. He goes, this radio stuff. You need to stop this radio. You need to work with me. I'm going to make you crew leader. He gave me a $100 raise, and he makes me do everything now. And I'm looking at him like, you really think I'm going to forget about radio and come work with you and do landscaping? You're out of your mind.
Why?
Exactly. And I just get treated like every day by everybody. And I've had enough. I want to do radio. I want to talk about sports. I'm just sick and tired of everyone's pissing me off. I'm tired of it, man. Leave me alone. Everyone sees that I'm trying to do good in life, and they keep with me. I'm so sick and tired of it.
Let me go take a load off.
No, don't even play that drop. It's serious, man. I'm so sick and tired of it. I can't do any right. I come home from work, I get treated like dog by everybody. I'm taking everybody out. I'm the only one that's, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Vinny, I think a lot of that begins with you. I think you got to start making the right choices.
I am trying to make.
You got to start hanging out with the right people.
Who? I don't hang out with anybody.
Well, then you got to start hanging out at your job. You got to start going to a radio station and just sitting in the lobby saying, hey, give me a job.
Hey, look at me. Give me a job.
Hey, you never know. It could happen.
They're afraid of my voice or something. They think I'm just out of control.
I also had a pretty...
I don't think he has enough.
I had a pretty bad day yesterday.
So did I.
I lost at bingo.
Oh, my God.
I got my ass handed to me.
I lost at life yesterday. Go ahead. Tell me about your bingo loss.
Well, first of all, it's a great time. Have you ever played bingo before?
Mm-hmm.
It really is fun. A lot of people think that it's for like 50, 60, 70-year-old people.
You were looking at old ladies' butts and getting hard.
But you go there, and if you get like 3 cards in front of you, you got your dauber. It's a rush, dude. And if you win, you get so excited.
But you don't win, right?
Exactly. And I get so angry. Last night, this one lady literally won 5 times.
Let me guess. She's 65 and her name's Margaret.
Probably.
Okay.
But also what sucked is that the place that we were going, we'd go once a year. It's a festival.
Right.
And you'd get either 50 cents for 1 sheet or $1 for 3. And now it's only $1 for 1 sheet. So that kind of sucks. We ran out of money pretty quick.
Everybody's running out of money. I'm running out of money right now as we speak. Every word on this microphone, my account's getting drained. I went to Greektown last night. I lost $40 within 20 minutes.
Ooh, what were you doing?
I was playing slots like a complete dickhead. I lost $40 in 5 minutes.
You have a rewards card there?
I used to. I quit using it because I quit going down there.
That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea.
I walk in there, and I go into the bathroom. This should have already been a red flag. Get the hell out. This guy had a teardrop tattoo on his eyeball or on his face, and he's trying to sell me like the fakest pair of Cartier shades I've ever seen in my life. It made me sick to my stomach. I'm trying to urinate. Go, hey, guys, I got these Cartier shades. And he had like this fake-ass gold chain he was trying to sell with it. I'm looking at him like, does it look like I wear Cartier shades? I don't wear Cartier shades. Get your ass out of the bathroom so I can urinate in peace, so I can gamble. This guy's in the bathroom nodding out on Oxycontin, trying to sell me a fake-ass pair of Five Below Cartier shades. Dick.
Well, do you feel a little better getting that off your chest?
No, man, because I have so much stuff going on in my life, and I just want to vent.
Well, let's talk about some sports
now. A lot of
then.
editing.
Let's talk about some sports now. Let's go to some happier subjects.
Yeah, what?
'Cause that's what you want to do. Let's talk about the Tigers.
Go ahead. They're a game back.
They're game back. They're still hanging in there.
They're a game back because of their bullpen.
But what is the real Tigers? We've seen them in the past couple games. They're scoring 10 runs a game. And then in the previous games, they couldn't score more than 2.
Yeah, when they can't score runs, they're going to lose, man. It's that simple.
And I think there are some telling stats that are pretty interesting.
Right.
So right now in the AL, they're second in batting average, but they're 8th in runs scored. So that means they're hitting, they're getting on base, but
they're not scoring.
Yeah, they're threatening, but they leave the people.
It's kind of
on
like me when I was in high school trying to get laid. Would always get to like first base, and I would somehow always steal second. But I'll be damned if I'm going to third, let alone home.
Then somebody hit a little blooper to second and end the inning.
I know one of my buddies would come up the bat and they would double play immediately. You work so hard to get to second base, and one of your buddies come in and get a double play on your ass. Drunk, drinking like Steel Reserve, walking up with their hat on sideways, just destroying the whole program. I'm tired of it. Thank God.
Here's another stat that I find really interesting. They're second in the league in triples, and they're 4th in stolen bases with
Tigers.
30. Yeah.
That's good.
Last year, we had 106 total stolen bases. 2 years ago, when we still had Jim Leland, we had 35 total stolen bases. I think it's really good that we have a mix of big hitters. We got speed on the bases. We got a pretty solid defense with the exception of a few people, but we really need to find a balance.
They had a bullpen, man. They'd go to the World Series and win it. They had everything but a bullpen, man.
But I think we have enough pieces where we don't need the same kind of bullpen that KC has right now. KC has a bullpen where everybody has an ERA of right around 1, but they also don't have the starting rotation that we have. Yeah, Giordano Ventura, and after that, it starts to drop off. So, I mean, you're right. If our pitchers are getting rocked, our offense needs to find a way to pick it up. Because we won't be able to survive if, Anibal Sanchez, Alfredo Simon, they're giving up 6-7 runs in 5 innings. We're not going to be able to rely on Tom Gorzelanny to come in and get somebody out. He's bad.
I can rely on heroin addicts more than Tom Gorzelanny. Really. You can't rely on Tom Gorzelanny. He's like 32, and I'm just tired of it. Every single thing about him. Every time I see Gorzelanny on the mound, I just get disgusted. And
Then did you catch the St. Louis game, the first
last
game of the
night?
series? Yeah,
I went 10-4.
Yeah, did you catch it?
I was getting intoxicated. It was on in the background, but I wasn't really looking at it. I know our batters went absolute ape, you know what, and James McCann went 3 for 4 and got a 2-run double.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. Miggy home run. JD went home run too, back to back.
It's 399 for Miggy. He's almost at 400.
Well, you worked that board over there, Doc. You're doing a fantastic job. Look at you.
We're doing pretty good right now. We're a game back from KC. What position player do you think needs to either turn it around, or we're going to really need to look for somebody to replace him?
Who do you think, Jarvi?
I think we both have the same guy.
We do.
And it's Nick Castellanos.
Yep, there it is.
The guy, he's hitting 240.
Yes, he is.
It's worse than what he finised last year. Last year he finished with he's batting 259.
It's not acceptable.
He has 3 errors already, and
He's only 23. Give him some time.
Just watch.
He's very young. He's
whenever
very good prospect.
Whenever they hit into his corner, he looks slow. I remember watching a game this week where it went down the third base line and he's running over to get it, and he's on the grass, and there's no way he's gonna get it.
Shame on you.
So he's obviously the hole in the defense.
Oh.
So you be at a position player on the bench right now, Andrew Romine.
There you go.
He's hitting okay. If Romine started a few more games over Castellanos, what do you think that would do
To Castellanos?
Yeah.
Castellanos. I don't know. It will either destroy him completely or it'd make him hit a little bit better. And ground ball. Dude, look. He's the third baseman. Brad Ausmus is the manager, so Romine would have already been at third base if Ausmus thought that he could play the position. Maybe he can play the position. They're just trying to give Castellanos a little bit more time.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons is because he was one of our highest prospects coming
For like
up.
5 years. He
And
never traded. He was the
finally
only
he's-
guy in the farm system that could do anything. He was like supposedly like the second coming of Jesus.
So they are giving him more time because
he's the second coming, supposedly.
if he does fail, then
He couldn't
we
hit a
don't
cigarette
have
in a bar.
anything.
The guy's not doing anything. 240, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs.
What do you
Where
think,
we
John?
at?
Adam and I on our podcast have said the same thing. Relative to the hype, Nick Castellanos has been disappointing. I know we can't compare him to guys like Bryce Harper who are just dominating, but this guy was considered by all of baseball to
Cameron
be
Maben.
to be the number 1 overall prospect, or at least in the top 5. And coming up now in his first couple seasons, he's been a little bit disappointing both on offense and defense. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you guys think that he is a bust? Can we call him a bust right now? Or no?
No.
You don't call him a bust yet?
I think for right now,
He's 23. No.
because he was expected. Well, other guys who've come up who were younger, Bryce Harper, he's producing, and I think he's younger than Castellanos right now. So we need to see something by the end of this season.
They should have
If not-
traded him when they had the chance.
What do you guys want to see to kind of elevate his stock? What do you guys want to see?
What do you mean? His batting average is in the toilet.
Yeah, I think he needs to get back to at least where he was hitting last year. If not improve that, I want him to start, getting more RBIs and hit with a little bit more power. Because then, if he's hitting, it takes away from some of the deficiencies he has on defense.
Yeah, I agree.
So
you guys are patient. Okay, you guys. Are
I'm
patient.
patient with the guy because
One more year. How much?
Yeah.
How much more time?
I give him to the end of this year. Because if he isn't markedly improved by the end of this year, we need to start looking for somebody who's going to compete for that job. So, Vinny, at the beginning of the year, you were roasting the Tigers bullpen.
Yeah, I was.
Do you still feel the same way about everybody in that bullpen right now?
Yes. Yeah.
About everybody?
Just about.
Because everyone, with the exception of Tom Gorzelanny, we've seen improvement in people.
Okay.
I think we've seen Albuquerque was a gas can at the beginning of the year.
God.
But he's gotten better.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Blaine Hardy's gotten better.
No.
And I think we have a really good 7, 8, 9 setup right now.
Oh.
You have Angel Nesbitt, you got Jabba Chamberlain, and Joaquin Soria. And all those guys are looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
And Jabba Chamberlain, who you were roasting pretty hard, he's got a 1.04 ERA right now.
Dude, he pitches against one guy and they yank him.
But that's all you need him for. If he's a 8th inning guy, that's all you need. Because
I don't even want to look
if
at
you
him
get to the
anymore.
9th inning, you got a 2 or 3 run lead. You put Joaquin Soria, he's got a 1.13 ERA. You got the game in the bag if Soria's coming out.
That's all I have to say about Jabba Chamberlain. The guy is a right-handed Phil Coke, and I'm just tired of looking at him. And he's trying to grow his beard back out.
I'm giving him a little bit more time because he really has come out this season and he's improved from where he was last year.
His ERA is lower than my standards at a bar of about 150 in the AM.
Right now, our rotation is good enough to get us to that 7th inning stretch where you can bring out Nesbitt, you can bring out Chamberlain.
You got to stop blowing the bullpen, dude. Oh, my God. Stop blowing it.
I'm not blowing it.
You're going to get a Jabba Chamberlain jersey and go on the jersey mount and hang it on the wall in here.
I would never get a jersey for Jabba Chamberlain.
Yes, you would. I think you secretly already have one.
I would get...
The way you're talking right now is just unacceptable.
I would get a Jason Hansen jersey before I got a Jabba Chamberlain.
I would get a Don Molback jersey, signed and autographed, and hang it up with my jersey mount that I got because I love my jersey mounts.
Funny story about Don Molback. My brother took his son to training camp one year, and he had his Calvin Johnson jersey on. The players were coming around for signings, and Don Molback, he was like, "Oh, I'll sign your kid's jersey." And my brother was like, "No, that's okay." Why would you ruin a Calvin Johnson jersey with a Don Molback signature?
Hey, man, can I have your cup? Don Molback, not you. Damn, Don Molback, you got a nice ass, man. Can I see your cup? Let me see. Oh, you're small. Oh, well, look, we're twins.
So the bullpen, you still think they're gas tank and they're going to be the downfall of this team?
Yeah, but I think, they're in contention, so in 2 more months at the All-Star break, they're going to get a solid bullpen guy.
I think
right-handed.
our bigger issue right now is
they're going to trade
hitting.
Rajay Davis, man, and get a right-hand reliever.
I really think our bigger issue right now is offense. We can't seem to find that good balance.
We just scored 10 runs last night.
Exactly, though. You're either hitting like 5 home runs and scoring 10 or 13 runs, or you're doing nothing and you're scoring 1 or 2 runs
and getting
a loss.
They need to get in the playoffs. And another thing, the Twins, what the hell? They're 20-16. You better start losing because I'm starting to get pissed off.
We just beat them in the series.
I know, but they beat us. They beat us 1 game, didn't they?
Yeah, that'd be just one game.
So what? They're still winning, and I don't like it. And it's scaring me. Everything about their team is starting to scare me.
You know who's not scaring us, though?
The Cleveland Indians?
The Cleveland Indians
oh my
or the
God.
White Sox.
If you are a Cleveland Indians fan, I want you to listen to me right now. I want you to go home and burn everything that you have of Indians memorabilia.
Burn your Corey Kluber jerseys.
Burn it all. Corey Kluber, Chris Masterson, Jack Hanrahan. I'm just kidding. Not Jack Hanrahan. Jack Hanahan. I hate Cleveland. And the Cavaliers are not going to win the championship.
So we'll move on to basketball now. NBA draft lottery is coming up on Tuesday. The Pistons have a 3.89% chance of getting the top pick. What do you think about that? Yeah, we'll probably be picking more around 8.
Is this the worst NBA draft of all time?
It's definitely not good.
I don't know who these guys are.
So there's 2 names that really keep coming up for the Pistons at 8. You're looking at Stanley Johnson from Arizona.
Yes.
Or Mario Hezonja
I don't want it.
from Croatia.
I don't want it.
And that brings up Chauncey Billups this week. He was on a podcast or a TV show, and they brought up the whole Darko pick, and he roasted him.
He roasted Darko.
Yeah, they asked him, how many practices did it take before you guys knew that that was a bad pick? And
1.
He said 2 or 3 practices. And he talked about how he saw him before the draft and he saw his workout. And he said that his workout was amazing and that he did everything that they told him to do. But in the end, that was him going up against nobody. So when he came in the first couple of days of practice, they realized that this guy has a long way to go. And if you could have gotten a guy like Carmelo Anthony, they probably could have been going on and winning, a couple championships.
I don't like Darko. I hate Darko. I don't like Carmelo Anthony at all.
Yeah, he may not be good, but he would have been a better fit than Darko Milicic.
Yeah.
So
no, my fart would have been a better pick.
So with these 2 names that are rumored to be coming to Detroit, are you worried about drafting another European player?
Yes, absolutely yes. Don't you dare touch Mario Hezonja.
I'll tell you why.
Is Joe Dumars hanging out with Stan Van Gundy and going out to eat with him?
I'll tell you why Hezonja may be a good fit because I trust in Stan.
No.
Now you know
what
Stan likes. If you trust in Stan,
then he'll draft Stanley.
You know what Stan
Johnson.
likes. Stan likes good defense and he likes 3-point shooters. It's the same thing that he did in Orlando.
Draft a white European basketball player. It doesn't work.
I'm gonna read you the descriptions of both of these players.
I don't care about. I don't want no white guys on my team. I don't want white people on my team. I don't.
Why, Vinny? Why don't you want no more Europeans? That could potentially help the team.
Shitty.
Why not? What's your opinion? Why not?
They're garbage.
Okay, the ones like the Pistons have gotten haven't been producing?
No, none of them produce. None of the European players at the Pistons draft produce. You got Stanley Johnson looking at you right now in the face. Draft him. 13.8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and you get about 2 assists.
But he's also 18 years old. He's a young guy. We're on the precipice of getting in the playoffs right now. We have a pretty good young core. You got Andre Drummond. You got Reggie Jackson. You got KCP. If we're bringing in, Stanley Johnson, the way that I compare Stanley Johnson, he looks like another Josh Smith. He creates shots for himself, which as soon as we got rid of Josh Smith and we started playing as a team, we were better as a whole. And that's why we went on that run. So that's why I think Hezonja would be a better fit for this team right now. Because I think he's known for his shooting and he's 20 years old. So he's older and he's been playing longer than Stanley Johnson.
Stanley Johnson's 18.
Yeah. He was a freshman.
Never mind.
No, see, an interesting point, too, with the Pistons is that, they've made a decision before. They kept Rasheed Wallace and signed him to the extension and traded Mehmet Okur or let him go. So did you guys remember that? And do you recall that, hey, back in the day, the Pistons kind of decided to, hey, stick with the guy that was a proven veteran, and they didn't really stick with the European player. So it's one of those, it's an interesting point. It's one of those things where if this player that you guys have been talking about can produce, then let's go get him. But I just think that another factor is it's hard to market a European player to the fans here in Detroit. I really believe that. I think that a guy like that, I think right now the Pistons have a couple issues on the court and off the court. And you need a guy also that can put some butts in the seats. I don't think a European player will do that.
I don't think Stanley Johnson is going to do that either. I mean, he's another player that nobody knows anything about. I mean, if you want to go draft a player that people know about and might put some butts in the seats, it would be Frank Kaminsky from Wisconsin. If we do have the 8th pick, I think that's a reach taking Frank Kaminsky because the guy can shoot, but he's got questions on defense and he may just turn into another great college player who comes to the NBA and can't transition.
Well, the one thing, though, you can't measure is intangibles, and you can say that Kaminsky has strong intangibles. So I'm kind of hoping then we do fall in the draft lottery so we can maybe take him. I like Kaminsky. I think he'd be a good fit here.
I think it'd be an interesting prospect. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Red Wings, and we still got some NBA playoffs and length or girth.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
Doc here for DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Check out our website for all the podcasts that you hear every Monday and Thursday. Monday, the Motor City Sports Rant with Jarvi and Stubbs. Thursday, Doc and Jock with Adam the Jock Straczynski and John the Doc Macaroon. Check out our website to support our podcast and to support our project free. DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Check it out. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Jarvi, your Red Wings are in shambles.
I wouldn't say that they're in shambles.
Yes, they are.
But they're definitely, there's some question marks. You got Mike Babcock. We're unsure of where he's going. They're still trying to decide that. One of the reasons why a lot of people are saying that Babcock wants to lead Detroit is because that there's a lack of young talent. He had some comments after they lost against the Lightning where he was saying that we just, when our last group of great players like Yzerman and Shanahan and Lidstrom, when they were at the end of their careers, they had guys like Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg and Nick Kronwall who stepped up and really started carrying the team. We need those players like Gustav Nyquist, Thomas Tatar, and now Peter Mrazek, that we need those guys to step up. And I think he's unsure if those are the guys who are going to carry us. One of the teams that's been rumored for Mike Babcock is the Edmonton Oilers. They definitely have a bevy of talent on their team. Do the Oilers really have more young talent than the Red Wings right now?
Edmonton has lost for so long that they've stockpiled significant picks, and now they're getting a guy he's being talked about like he's a Sidney Crosby type player in Connor McDavid.
For sure. And they got Jordan Eberle, Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Nail Yakupov. They got that Justin Schultz kid in free agency a few years ago.
Here's how I look at it. I look at it as we speak today, the Red Wings' younger players are better, but the potential for greatness is a little bit stronger just in sheer number in Edmonton. But I just don't think he's going to go there. I think that once this is all done, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, once this is all done, he's going to be courted. He's going to see what his market value is. A coach like Mike Babcock, with where the current Red Wings are, is a perfect fit. Right now, they're just at the point where the young players are going to reach their prime. You're going to need to obviously replace the older players. But I just think that with one or two significant moves, there's some guys out there you can get to help bolster this roster. It's going to be incumbent upon Ken Holland, if Babcock comes back, to upgrade the talent just like 15-20%. We're not that far away. Edmonton is an easier stop because you obviously have more talent there, and the potential there is great. Where he's at now, if he comes back, I think the future is bright. I really do. There is a great debate, though, in questioning, hey, should we even bring Babcock back? There is a great debate in that. The question really is not where is he going to end up, but the question is, should we actually keep Babcock? That's the real question.
And I think you're right when you say that they have more potential on that team, but they haven't done anything since they've been here. They've been here for years. And we saw a similar situation with the Blackhawks where they were horrible for years. They got Patrick Kane. They got Jonathan Toews. And we see where they are now. They got a good coach. They're dominating the Western Conference, and they're always threatening for a Stanley Cup every year. So my question would be, why hasn't the Oilers improved yet? A coach can do so much. Babcock, he would bring them to another level. One thing that the Red Wings have that the Oilers don't have is experienced players with that work ethic to go out and win and then make the playoffs every year. They don't have guys like Pavel Datsyuk or Henrik Zetterberg who are in the weight room every day. They go in after games. They're constantly trying to improve their game. We also get production from players who aren't number one picks. I mean, we're getting production from Luke Glendening. We're getting it from Riley Sheahan, Justin Abdelkader. And not to mention, we also have Gustav Nyquist, Thomas Tatar, Anthony Mantha, and Dylan Larkin, who have yet to join the team yet. But those are, I think we got great talent on this team. And when you look at Jordan Eberle and Nugent Hopkins, both of those guys were first-round picks. Both of them had 24 goals this year. Justin Applicator, who was a 42nd overall pick, he had 23 goals this year. So I think we get more out of all of our players than they get out of, their top picks.
Obviously, things out there in Edmonton, you go to, coaching, how the lines are matched up, goaltending, and it's tough with young players to teach them, how to adjust from college or the minors to coming up to the big level. And we saw that with Pulkkinen. Lots of people say, hey, this guy's a great player, but, he's not a great two-way player yet. He doesn't play, great on defense. So it's a big adjustment, and Edmonton's going to have to find out what it's like to bring players along. Yes, that's why the Red Wings are farther along right now, and that's why the Red Wings, I believe, are in a perfect spot to retain Mike Babcock. I think that keeping him will help us to get to the Stanley Cup faster. I don't think that if you bring in a Blashill that you're going to get to the Cup faster. And everyone's like, well, we've lost early and in so many rounds and what's going on. And people are kind of questioning, what's the relationship like with Babcock and Holland. Consistency in sports is really key. And you've had a head coach for 10 years. And I think it's important that I'm kind of hoping that he does stay. Keep the continuity. Remember, you have to get to the playoffs in order to try to win the Stanley Cup. And if you bring in a new guy, whoever it may be, we may have to take a step back and miss the playoffs for a year or two. I really believe this. With a couple moves, the Red Wings will be in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2 or 3 seasons, tops. With the right moves, with Mrazek, with a great head coach, with the talent that we have, I believe we can win the Stanley Cup. And but Mike Babcock has to weigh his options, and he deserves this right to do it. And it's going to be great to see. I mean, I want this thing to end by now. I believe he's been saying that he's going to end it by maybe next Wednesday, maybe on the 22nd. Let's just end this and let's just see where the future holds. And I'm looking forward to this to be over and to see where the Red Wings' future is going to go. But the future is bright. Look out for Edmonton; they're going to be strong.
So regardless if Babcock is here or he's not here next year, and moving on to the players that we have. I think you're right. There are some moves that we need to go out and make this year. We need to go out and try to find another goal scorer. Even though we have Anthony Mantha and Dylan Larkin in the farm system, we need to find somebody who can come in and is just a pure scorer. Because Datsuk, even though he scores goals, he's more of the guy who sets up the guy to score the goals. And that's why Nyquist and Abdelkader, both of those guys had great seasons this year. We need to clear out some of the dead weight on this team. Stephen Weiss is a failed experiment. He needs to be gone. Dan Cleary shouldn't even be affiliated with the Red Wings anymore. You mentioned Teemu Pulkkinen. That guy needs to be with the big team all year next year, because all he's doing is he's scoring hat tricks in Grand Rapids. There's no reason why he shouldn't be here next year.
I agree 100%. So then I just want to ask, where you sit, what your opinion? Babcock should be the guy here in Detroit, or are you ready for a change? What's your opinion?
I think Babcock will be back, but I wouldn't be upset if he does leave. I completely understand if he wants to leave, and if he does, I would shake his hand and wish him well, because he got us to a Stanley Cup. He's continued the playoff streak. We won't ever forget those things. And I think, if he does leave, the first game he comes back, the guy's going to get a standing ovation, because I'd almost compare him to Scotty Bowman.
He's done a serviceable job. You would do nothing but thank him. So now the Final Four set. Lightning. I like the Lightning versus Chicago. A lot of people, when I tweeted out, I'm hoping for a Lightning Blackhawks matchup, were like, no, we can't cheer for the Blackhawks. That would be the most exciting matchup, in my opinion. You've been keeping tabs and in the Final Four, and what final would pique your interest the most?
Mainly because I'm a sore loser, and whatever team knocks out the Wings, I'd love to see the Lightning lose, and I want to see the Rangers. I'd like to see the Rangers and the Blackhawks, because there's a lot of history there. I think Lundqvist is a great goalie. Between the two goalies in Chicago, one of those guys will step up. They got great goal scorers on Chicago, and the Rangers are just a team. They're out to win. I mean, they're on the ropes, and I think they'll find a way to do it against the Lightning.
Ooh, man, I like the Rangers, man. They're strong. Coming back 2 years in a row from a 3-1 series deficit, all heart. Yeah, man, I'm excited. The NHL playoffs are always exciting, and now the Final Four, man. Can't wait. Can't wait to see it. Vin, man, you've been peeking in on the NHL playoffs?
I can't believe Stanley Johnson's 18 years old. I'm very disappointed.
Hockey, Vinny, what's going on? You want to keeping track of hockey? You a Lightning fan? Now, yeah, now
I
that
like Steve Yzerman, that's it.
Oh yeah, you think he's better than Ken Holland?
Hell no.
Oh,
You serious?
yeah, dude, they're in this Final Four.
Well, he's
Young talent. He brought him along.
Yzerman's starting to get his act together, sure, but no. Ken Holland's the truth.
It sounds like we are completely discounting the Anaheim Ducks, though. I mean, are we giving them no chance against the Blackhawks?
I'm not.
I mean, the Blackhawks, they're a perennial power, and I've always said that the Ducks, the Sharks, the Canucks, they're all choke jobs. Every time in the playoffs, it comes to a point where they just lose
Every year.
And the Blackhawks are a team that they win.
Every year.
They beat us when we were in the Western Conference. So I think Anaheim has really good talent. I just don't think that they can compete with the Blackhawks, even though that they are missing Michael Roosevelt to that horrific ankle injury.
I cannot believe Stanley Johnson's 18. I'm so irresponsible.
Vin, when's the last time you went to the Joe?
I watched SmackDown in like 2009.
I love it.
What was the main fight?
Like Undertaker versus like some guy that probably doesn't exist anymore.
My man,
Test,
see,
I don't know.
we got to get you. See, I think the Joe Louis Arena has one more year. We got to all go out there and get Vinny to the Joe Louis Arena.
I've only been there once.
You have to check out a hockey game live, bro. It's really fun.
Yeah.
You've never been? Why not?
No, I like the Red Wings. They're in the Eastern Conference now. They don't have a lot of big name players, and Ken Holland's doing a great job. I think Mike Babcock's got to go. I think his message is stale. They got to rebuild, and they got to get a new message in there. Babcock, from what I hear, is a jerk,
So
which I really like personally.
Where do you think Babcock's going to go? I know a lot of
Philadelphia, man.
It's your town, man.
No, not really. Detroit's my town, but Philly's my alternative. Philadelphia needs a guy like that. Philadelphia went 33, 31, and 18 last year.
They got some good players.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players. They're underachieving, obviously. I mean, if they get a guy like Babcock in there, he's a prick. I love it. And hopefully he can turn the franchise around. I think the Red Wings, they're in a position now where they have to rebuild. They have to start fresh. They got a lot of young talent in there. I mean, they're not that great, but they're still getting in the playoffs every year. They're scrappy. They're in the Eastern Conference. I love it. Start over, man. Get a new message in there. I love Babcock. He did a great job. It's time for him to go.
But don't you think though the Wings will win a cup faster if they have Babcock than some new coach?
Yeah, I maybe, possibly, but if the players hate the guy and the message is stale. I mean, they're going to the first round of the playoffs every year and getting eliminated. They need a new message. They do, sorry. I like Babcock. I just think he's been here too long. He's been here 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
10 seasons.
Well, he's got to go.
So I think you're still hung up on Stanley Johnson. So let's move back to the NBA.
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Let's move back to the NBA. NBA playoffs
I have no time to study, Jason. I'm sorry, dude.
NBA playoffs are going on right now. All of the matchups are set except for one. So in the Eastern Conference, we got the Cavs versus the Hawks.
Yep.
The Hawks barely missed going to a Game 7 against the Wizards the last night when Paul Pierce, they thought they did for a second too. He hit that game-tying 3 at the buzzer, and when they went back, it was too late.
What would you do?
It's too late for the truth.
What would you do if you're Paul Pierce?
I would cry.
Right,
I'd cry.
He's probably still crying, right?
Probably. He's a crybaby. That's the one I want to see Paul Pierce gone.
You know who was worse than Paul Pierce at crying?
Who?
Antoine Walker. That guy cried every play.
I feel like that entire Boston team when they were together were crybabies.
God, I hated Antoine Walker. He's such a crybaby. Oh yeah. I hated that Boston team. I wanted to see them beat the Lakers that year. I think it was 2009. But it was like so scripted. Paul Pierce went down and they like carried him back onto the court.
Yeah.
That was so ridiculous.
So I mean, you got Cavs Hawks, and the Cavs are a little banged up. They're without Kevin Love.
It doesn't matter. The
Irving
NBA wants them in the finals because LeBron. So that's what's going to happen.
I think we may see some star calls.
That Western Conference final is going to be so sweet. Oh, it's going to be so.
Yeah, right now it's the Warriors. They made it through. They in deciding fashion against the Grizzlies, and Game 7 coming up on Sunday with Clippers and Rockets. Mm-hmm. So you think the Rockets are gonna win that game?
The Rockets are going to beat.
They're going to beat the Clippers.
Yeah.
What makes you think that they're going to beat Chris Paul and Blake Griffin?
Oh, I don't know. I think that Kevin McHale is a better coach than Doc Rivers. I think what they're putting together there is just phenomenal, and I think James Harden's probably the MVP. I think it'll be a better matchup for the spectators, all in all. I mean,
yeah,
I'd rather see the Clippers.
I'd agree because I think the Clippers.
They're both in the same state.
The Clippers seem to just give up on games.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave up. They were going to close out the game. They were up by 19. And who led the Rockets back to win that game?
Your boy.
Josh Smith.
Your boy.
Jay Smooth.
I don't want to talk about
I
it.
hate that guy.
I hope he gets cancer.
That's the only reason why I don't want the Rockets to win, because I don't want him to succeed. Because after the game, he's talking about how, Houston's just a great fit. They let me do what they want me to do. I hate him so much. I don't hate him so much. I just hate him as a player.
I hate Joe Dumars more than him for picking him up and setting our franchise back that much further.
So let's say Houston does win, and it's Houston Warriors Western Conference Finals.
That's so sweet.
I'll
watch every
those
game.
guys are going to be. It's going to be 120 to like 119 every single
It's
game.
going to be a brawl.
It's going to be a 3-point shootout.
It's going to be ridiculous.
So who do you got in that series?
Oh my God, I don't know, man. Maybe Golden State probably.
Yeah, I think Golden State will eventually, because I think they'll eventually win because Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green.
They're going to win the whole thing.
Those guys are good.
Steve Kerr is a genius.
It's ridiculous how well they've done in his first season.
Let's
after
be honest.
Jackson's
Mark
gone.
Jackson built the Warriors, man. Don't discredit that guy. He did a phenomenal job.
He
the
did.
Warriors were so irrelevant for years.
Well, let's say
They're like the Cleveland Browns.
so.
of
Mark
basketball.
Jackson built the Warriors, and now Steve Kerr is actually
He's
succeeding.
the
with
genius.
Them. Would you
the Larry Brown?
Would you compare that to
Yes.
Rick Carlisle building the Pistons and Larry Brown coming and taking them over the top?
No, because I think all in all, Rick Carlisle is more of a genius than Mark Jackson. Where's Mark Jackson now? I mean, Rick Carlisle.
He's on ESPN doing commentary.
Exactly. Rick Carlisle went to the Pacers, did great with them, and then now he's in Dallas, and he won an NBA championship with Dirk Nowitzki against the Miami Heat in 2010.
So
My God, it's been 5 years.
It's going to be a close matchup between the Warriors and the Rockets.
Yes.
And I think Warriors win.
I think Warriors win against Houston.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're stacked with crybabies too.
And I think that's the matchup that the NBA wants. They want
Warriors and Cavs.
Warriors and Cavs.
Warriors are going to win the whole thing.
If they get anything, if LeBron James isn't in the NBA Finals, it's a failure of a season for them.
I can't believe Golden State's relevant. I'm still trying to comprehend this.
Remember when Latrell Sprewell was there?
Yeah, did he play for Minnesota?
Probably.
I think he was. I've known him more for playing with the Timberwolves.
Didn't he choke out Jeff Van Gundy?
Who wouldn't choke out Jeff Van Gundy? I mean, he used to coach the Rockets too, didn't he? Jeff Van Gundy. I hate Jeff Van Gundy. He's such a prick. I can't even watch the games when he's commentating.
But you love SVG.
Oh my God. Well, sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. It goes back and forth. But you got to look. The Ron Jeremy factor is one of the reasons that I'm a huge supporter and a fan of Stan Van Gundy, and I believe he's going to get the job done. I think next year the Pistons will be a 6th seed.
So what would happen if the unthinkable happens and we get an Atlanta versus Houston final?
No, come on. The NBA doesn't want it. The fans don't want it.
That would be the lamest
It would be
NBA final
really
in a
terrible.
long time.
I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
That drop was necessary, and wow, that was a dragged out tone. I enjoyed it.
So we're most likely looking at Cavs versus the Warriors. You get LeBron James against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the Splash Brothers.
That's the finals right there. It's in your
That'll
face.
be good. I'd actually watch the NBA Finals. If LeBron James, I hate LeBron James, but if he isn't in the finals, there's no reason to watch.
I remember I wanted James Harden to win the MVP. Remember?
I do.
I want Steph Curry to win it now.
He did.
I watched him last night. He is such a great player. He is great. He's literally great. Did you watch the game last night?
I watched a little bit. I watched the end of it.
So did I. He's phenomenal.
And yeah, he drains threes.
He's so good.
I watched the end of it, and Memphis gave up. They took out Zach Randolph with like 1:13 left. They were only down
He was
by
crying.
like 3 or
Some
4.
guy was crying. He hugged him.
It was ridiculous. They took him out.
I'm so
and-
happy to see Spartan lose. Spartan players just get the L and walk off the
Yeah,
court
but
and shame.
Draymond Green won though, and he's a Sparty.
Well, he'll be a
And I
Piston
like
next year,
Draymond
so I don't
Green better
care.
than Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph was a dick.
He's a prick. He's
a dick on Portland, and he's a dick on Memphis.
Yeah, I don't like him either. I do like Draymond Green. I hope he comes to the Pistons.
So-
I hope Stanley Johnson has the worst career of his life. And Mario Hezonja, what are we gonna do here? I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, I don't think any of us really know. It's a toss up. They could take somebody other than those guys. They could take that Porzingis kid, who's another European. They could take Willie Cauley-Stein, and they could take anybody. you know, when they took Austin Day, did we really have an idea who that kid was?
I met him once. Where's he at? Memphis?
Who cares?
Exactamundo. I am in the same boat. What, Doc? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't discount the fact that maybe Stan Van has a secret plan, and maybe we'll trade for a productive player and trade that first round pick, because you know a first round pick is going to take time to develop. He's not going to start right away, and maybe he will use some creativity, get a productive player that we need.
This is where Stan Van Gundy needs to show himself.
Yeah.
I get him one more year. This is his last year if he doesn't produce.
I think as long as he doesn't draft Eric Ebron, he's going to be fine.
He might have already got his Ebron and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah,
that's the point. He put his all his eggs in the basket. He's going to have to re-sign Jackson, and I don't know how that's going to work with Brandon Jennings when he comes back. So he put his eggs in the basket with Reggie Jackson, and I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical, in my opinion.
We got to keep Reggie Jackson.
Well, we still got a ways for the draft coming up. We got a little bit of a line switch up, this little switcheroo coming up.
I can't wait for that.
And then we also got length or girth on the way.
Yeah.
And
the Get Laid Bar of the Week.
Exactly.
And just breaking on Twitter, Stanley Johnson tore his ACL on the Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
Definitely give these guys a follow on social media, at Jarvi the King on Twitter, at Vinny Stubbs. Follow us at Detroit Podcast. We are definitely one of the most interactive Twitter pages out there. Message us, respond to our questions. We may even read some of the tweets that you send us on our podcast every Monday and Thursday. Follow us on social media, like us on Facebook, check out our Instagram, Detroit Sports Podcast, bringing you great, unfiltered, uncensored Detroit sports content twice a week. Definitely check us out on social media. It's a great way to interact with other fellow passionate Detroit sports fans, and check out our website, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Now back to the Motor City Sports Rant.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. That "the" in the Motor City Sports Rant has got to go away. I just did it. Maybe it's just supposed to be the Motor City Sports Rant.
Well, we got a little fun thing coming up
Oh,
before we get to length or girth. And before we get to this, I do want to bring up that the Lions signed Lance Moore.
Yep.
I think it's an interesting pick, but we'll have more on that in length or girth.
Yeah.
So normally when we talk Lions, I am more optimistic about the Lions' chances, the players that they get. I will call out a spade when I see a spade, but I'm generally optimistic because I think in the NFL, more than any other league, you can win any game on any day. And Vinny,
I agree, unless you're the Lions.
Vinny,
the Lions are great.
Vinny is more pessimistic, and he is more doom and gloom. The Lions should be sold, and
The Lions should be sold.
so we're gonna do a little switcheroo right now.
Yeah, we are.
Vinny, he's gonna be the optimist. He's gonna be me,
Okay.
and I will be Vinny. I'll be the pessimist, shooting down everything that he says.
Okay.
You want to start this off, Vinny?
Okay. Let's see.
Let's talk about Lance Moore first.
Well, I think Lance Moore was absolutely terrific in New Orleans. I think he fit the system.
He had like 16 catches in Pittsburgh last year.
It doesn't matter. You got to look at it from the bright side. Lance Moore, he played under,
Dude, he was a system guy under Sean Payton.
but he was on the.
There's no way that he has production.
That's okay. And you
He's
had
gonna tear his ACL.
okay. That's your perspective, and I respect that. But you have to think he played under Lombardi in New Orleans. He was a great asset as a third receiver in the slot, and he caught a lot of deep passes from.
They
Breeze.
don't have an O-line.
Well, I appreciate-
They have an unproven
I see-
O-line.
No, that's,
Stafford isn't going to have any time to throw the ball.
hear me out.
And he's going to get sacked. And he's
okay.
going to hurt his shoulder again.
But you got to think they just drafted Laken Tomlinson from Duke, an ACC
Oh,
player.
Lakin, I hate that name.
But I don't like it. Well, I do like it. I love it actually. And you have your right.
You draft a guy named Lakin, shame on you.
Okay,
You should be shot.
Hear me out. Hear me out. He's a great leader. He wore Gazzer Turles' number, and he's trying to get it from Lucas right now. Stop taking videos of me, John, and posting it on Twitter. I'm very offended. I mean, I'm not offended. I love it. Go ahead, take more pictures of me. Anyway, Lance Moore. He's spectacular. Matt Stafford's going to have so much more time now that they went out and got a guy like Manny
Dude,
Ramirez.
Stafford, his arm is horrible.
His arm is
He can't hit anybody.
he's a little inaccurate at times, and you have your right to say that. I think you're being a little bit pessimistic. I think you need to look at it from the bright side. Matt Stafford,
What bright side?
He's only been
the Ford should sell the team.
No, I love Ford. Stafford is going into his 7th year. He hasn't won a playoff game yet, but he's proven somehow, and I think he's doing phenomenal.
Martin Mayhew, shame on you for not going out and getting anybody to compete with Stafford.
That shouldn't matter because Matt Stafford's proven. He's a proven player in the league, and I think this is his year. He's got more protection. He's got Lance Moore now. Chris Fuller, whatever his name is, he's going to pan out. Yes!
Oh my God!
Wait, hear me out. You're so weird, Jason. You're so weird, man. They went 11-5 last year. Come on, they went 11-5. They went 11.
It doesn't matter.
They went 11-5.
They're gonna go 4-12.
They should have beat Dallas last year.
They should have.
You're telling me if they
why you throw the ball to Brandon Pettigrew?
Because Stafford's worked with him over the years. He got drafted in 2009. Remember, the same year as Stafford, and he's really comfortable with him in a situation like that. Calm down, Jason. You gotta calm down.
I am calm.
I think this is the year. I think they got 6 nationally televised games. It's going to give us it's going to be good for the city and the economy. We're going to be stronger than ever. Theo Gridiron's going to do his thing. And
Theo Gridiron. You have a name like that.
we're going to get.
You should be dragged through the mud.
I love the fact that we play indoors, and when we play in the playoffs once every 20 years, that they lose, but that's okay because it's acceptable in Detroit.
Shame on you, Barton Mayhew.
I love the way
and the city of Detroit, and the guy that I picked up on 7 Mile and Evergreen, who jumped into my car, who took off his pants.
8 Mile.
8 Mile, whatever.
You remember that?
I do.
That was the
I remember
truth.
everything.
That really happened to me. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The Lions, Martin Mayhew, they're all going into their 7th year. I think Martin Mayhew should get some kind of an extension. There you go. You got to calm down, Jason. You're being weird here. I think the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I got them at 12-4.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely.
Doc, don't edit this out, please.
Yeah.
I think we went as long as we could.
No.
It was good.
What's your prediction for the 2015 Lions?
I don't know. I don't even care.
Damn it, Jason.
They're going to go 7-9. They're going to go in the draft next year. They're going to get a wide receiver. They're probably going to draft Connor Cook.
How can you say that? Because you had him at 10-6 on the paper that we did. Okay, cuz. Okay, first of all, Vinny, you gotta calm down, cuz. What don't you like about the Lions? Okay, is it the interior of the offensive line? Is it the interior of the defensive line? Is the defensive tackle a question? Because I think it is. And I think that they're going to make a substantial drop-off from last year going 11-5. And they may go 7-9. You never know. Matt Stafford, I mean, it's going into his 7th year. So, if things can... I think it's kind of time for a change. This is Matt Stafford's last year, and this is make or break for Martin Mayhew. JerseyMounts.com, cuz, thank you. It's great. Jarvi breaking it down. He's got the optimistic side of Motor City Sports Rant. Follow us on Stitcher, Twitter, all that stuff. Cuz, thank you. Jason, you're doing a great job. Stubbs breaking it down, bringing the noise on the Motor City Sports Rant.com.
I don't even care. Lions are going 4-12.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That was good. That was a good segment. We
All right,
should
the
do that
Lions
more
are going to
often.
go 7-9. Okay.
I still think they're going 10-6.
What do you think?
They're going to make the playoffs.
8-8.
Oh,
That's a classic macaroon.
what
prediction.
are we going to do if they don't go to the playoffs? What are they going to do?
Watch them the next year.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, we'll watch next year.
They can't do that. They got to go back to the playoffs
We
and
hate
win a
ourselves,
game.
and that's why we'll keep watching them.
Oh my god!
But it's time. Let's have some more fun.
What?
It's that time of the week.
It is length or girth. Jason, the King, Jarvi.
Yes.
Stanley Johnson is an awful human being, but that has nothing to do with the first question. First question on Length or Girth. Your boy, number 1, shortstop, Jose Iglesias. He's batting .357. 1 home run, 5 RBIs, but he's batting .357. Jarvi, length or girth? Is Iglesias going to continue to just be an absolute powerhouse behind the plate?
I think Iglesias is a very girthy human being.
Yeah, handling.
But I'm gonna go Girth on this. He's not. There's no way he continues 357.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Miguel Cabrera can't hit 357 every year, there's no way that he's gonna finish that. He's probably gonna finish hopefully somewhere between 280 and 300.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta go Girth here.
I gotta go Girth too. He's doing great, but like all players and human beings, things slow down a little bit. They're 22-14. That's great. I think he's gonna bat 285 this year, which is great. I love it for a leadoff hitter. 285.
I think that's really what we can ask from him, and what he brings defensively. I mean, you can't really measure that.
No, and he's doing so good right now. So just continue. I don't even know what to say. You're just a wonderful human being. Jason, second question: length or girth? Lance Moore had a substantial drop off from the year before with New Orleans in Pittsburgh, and now he's rolling around in that blue butter clogging his arteries. And you love it because you're just the biggest Lions fan I've ever seen in my life. Jason, second question. Lance Moore's tenure with the Detroit Lions. Length or girth?
It's a hard one. I really do want to say length because he does fit. He played in the New Orleans offense, which is what we're instilling here. And
Lombardi, the Lombardi factor.
I trust him more than I trust Jeremy Ross, Ryan Broyles, Corey Fuller.
Yeah.
So if he's being our third or fourth wide receiver, I'm going length. I mean, if we have to rely on him for anything more than that, though, it's going to suck for us.
I'm going length too. I think it was a good pickup. I think he's going to be better than Fuller. And how do you get any worse than Ross? Length, he'll be here for 2 years, and he'll contribute. I think he'll get up like 4 touchdowns next year, which will be more than Eric Ebron. Jarvi, third and final question.
Number 3.
Length or girth? Stanley Johnson. I'm just kidding. Jabba Chamberlain, your boy. You love him. In fact, you want to grow your beard out just like him.
I grew my beard out before he grew his beard out.
You want to spank him on the hiney. I can just see it in your eyes. You want to spank him. You love the guy. Third question on length of girth. Jabba Chamberlain. He's got a 1.04 ERA. Will it last, length of girth?
The smart answer would be girth.
Yeah.
That he doesn't keep the 1.04 ERA.
Yes.
I am going to go length, though. I think he'll continue to do good. It may not be 1.04, but I think he's shown something this season that he hasn't shown in previous seasons.
You can get one guy out.
And if that's all that we need him to do, then I love him for that.
I'm going to go girth. I think that once you start getting deeper into the season, you're going to start seeing the stud that I know Jabba Chamberlain is, which is not studly at all. I think his ERA will be over 6, and he's going to get set down. Our bullpen is so paper thin right now, so we don't have a choice but to keep him. And he's doing his job for now. And you can't ask for anything more. Hopefully it's length. Length or girth.
Yeah, 12th edition.
Yes, the 12th edition. I think we did okay today. The Stanley Johnson and Mario Hezonja it's haunting me. I'm going to go home and probably punch a hole in the wall. I am so disgusted in myself. I work 55 hours a week and I have no time to prepare. And every time I have a chance to prepare, I get my balls busted by somebody.
Well, is there a place that you could go to possibly, relieve some of this stress?
That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked. Because it's time for the Get Laid Bar of the Week. The Get Laid Bar of the Week. The Well on Randolph Street in downtown Detroit. The Well is a laid-back, casual, neighborhood-style bar. The staff there is so friendly and accommodating. Warm, cozy atmosphere with a great DJ. Okay, let's cut that talk out right now. Let's get down to business, all right? The bottom line is that you're going to get laid. 5-to-1 woman-to-dude ratio. And you're going to hit like V-Mart on the 0-2 count with the bases loaded. Get downtown and show yourself and your wiener that you have a purpose. Motor City Sports Rant, Detroit Sports Podcast.com.
Wow, Vinny. You read that script absolutely flawlessly. Wow, dude, good job.
I wouldn't
pissed.
have compared the chances to V-Mart's over 2 count, though.
Did you see his stats with the bases loaded last week?
Well, what is it?
457.
Yeah, but
I seen against the Twins.
He's hitting worse than Castellanos right
He's
now.
doing so bad. He's batting like 220, isn't he? I gotta go to the Get Lady Bar of the Week and get my mind right.
Is that where you're going after here? I thought you were going to put on like a furry.
I'm gonna go find Mario Hizonja and cut his testicles off.
I thought you were going to put on a furry costume and go down to Comic-Con.
That's a good idea.
Hang with your fans.
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about the Fairy Con?
No, tell me. Do tell.
No, never mind. I can't talk about it. There's this place in Pennsylvania where these people dress up like fairy characters, and they all run around and they make noise. It's like there's thousands of people that attend this place. It's crazy. Look it up, Fairy Con. It's
See, each his own.
insanity.
If they want to run around, some people run around and they make fairy noises. Some people continue to watch losing football teams.
Oh my god!
So they probably look at us and they laugh and they say, "Why are they still following the Lions?"
You know what's going to happen? Vinny and Jim Caldwell are going to wear drone costumes and head out tomorrow to Comic-Con. You and Jim Caldwell, because guys that are ultra conservative can tend to be the freakiest.
Yeah.
So you got a drone costume?
Yeah, of course I do. You tell?
And so no Comic-Con for you?
I can't believe you're not watching these games. If you got some super horror over there, grab your dick and be a man.
Is that Pete?
No, it's my next door neighbor. He's out of his mind, drunk. He was so pissed that I wasn't watching the Warriors and Memphis Grizzlies game because I was passing out because I worked 55 hours a week. So he left me a bone-chilling voicemail.
All right,
What a great human being.
Well, it was a good episode.
Yes,
We'll
it
come
was.
back next week refreshed.
And Mario Hizonja and Stanley Johnson free on the Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
Let me go take a load off.
Nope.
Okay, nice idiot. You. Bye-bye.
Good day, sir. I said good day.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Loser.